Beyond the forbidden.
So what happened to me is I ended up going through a lot of my own experiences with what we call the phenomenon, and I got to be upwards of 300 right now, just in the last 2 years. So what happened with me was I had my own experiences. It took me a long time, but I ended up coming to some of my own, and I say they're loosely held conclusions because I do not know anything with 100% certainty. There's so much mystery. There's so much going on out there. And I don't think anybody does, the creator himself, and that might be it. So I ended up going through an entire journey with these creatures and coming to some conclusions about it. And then what ended up happening was I actually came across a lot of research that really coincided with the things that I had already decided for myself. I really do believe, so I'm going to be of the opinion, I'm going to be along the lines of a Michael Heiser, Chuck Missler, a Timothy Alberino, where and for the record, I started out believing that these were space aliens. I really did. When I first started realizing what I was dealing with, I thought they were space aliens. And now I don't think they are. I do think that these entities were probably created before we were ever created. Timothy Alberino will refer to them as the elder race. So a race that was created for the spiritual realm, to rule the spiritual realm, masters of the spiritual realm. And then I believe humans came along after that. So you could look at them as they're probably very similar to us. And I think they were created for the astral. There's a possibility we were created for the earth and they were created for the astral, but I don't know that. Is it possible we were also created in a spiritual realm and our so-called fall is actually what brought us to the earth? I consider that as well. But either way, I think we have spiritual beings who rebelled against their creator and were cast to the earth. And I think that this is where they are, and this is where they've been for a very long time. I think you've already referred to the many disguises that they wear, and there's been times that they've changed their tactics, and right now they're presenting themselves as aliens from outer space. But I think it's always been the same thing. So I think these creatures likely have their own prodigy and their own creations. I think, although I don't find them extremely creative, I think they could patch things together off of something that's already been created. And I think this is where we're getting these aliens, what we refer to as aliens. I think these are probably hybrid creatures, probably have a lot of human DNA in them. And I think that these alien creatures were probably created to better interact with humans in the 3D, in the physical realm. And so imagine spiritual beings that can take on physicality, but that is not their primary disposition. So I think that these aliens, which appear to be metaphysical beings, they can be very 3D and absolutely interact in the physical realm. And then in the next instant, they can take you into the astral realm or into a realm that is not physical. And so I think these entities were created by these spiritual beings to better interact with us and kind of carry out the agenda that they've had for thousands of years. I do think that there is a lot of good in the human race. And what this negative alien agenda is to convince us that humans are bad, that the aliens are good, and that the aliens are here to help us, save us from ourselves, because humans are terrible. We're ruining the earth. We're awful creatures. And these aliens are supposed to be higher consciousness creatures, and they're supposed to be here to come save us and ascend us to 5D and help us raise our consciousness. And it's just part of the agenda. It's the aliens themselves. And I say the term aliens loosely. Don't misunderstand what I think these creatures are. But I think that we are almost their proxies. So they are acting out their agenda through us, through humans. And I think a lot, and this does not excuse our responsibility as humans, but I think a lot of our negative and bad behaviors are actually very much influenced. I think that not all of our thoughts are our own. I think that these creatures are all around us and that we're almost like chess pieces on a board. and they're trying to move us in one direction or another. And I know it probably sounds insane to a lot of people who listen to your show. I don't know how far down these rabbit holes you usually go, but
we go as deep as possible. So
well, that's good. And that's what I think it is. I think human beings are better than we appear. Our natural state is better than it appears to be. And I agree with you. I think most people are just trying to pay their bills and get their kids to school and do a decent job at work and have just enough time to enjoy the weekend if they are able to. And we just don't stop to think about this unseen realm that's actually all around us, full of entities for us and against us. And to me, it almost seems like we're in a proxy war. So I look at this as an actual battle between the powers of good and the powers of bad, the evil versus good, however you want to look at it. It's an actual battle, a cosmic war. And it was said, not by me, but we are both the pawns and the prize in this game. And I think we are heavily influenced, and I think our little chess pieces are moved around the board trying to win a war we're not even aware of. So I would agree with everything you said.